we're going to start early and go. Mr. Geisinger.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Page 1, the first bill. House Resolution 4 is a joint House and Senate resolution which does one simple thing. It resolves the dispute with Tennessee and will acquire our riparian water rights to the Tennessee River.
Any questions? Mr. Lindsay.
Representative Geisinger, I'm a co-sponsor of this bill, and I like the bill, but I want to make sure that that you talk with the governor's office, and we want to make sure that we're all on the same team, that this assists him in his negotiations.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's on board?
He's on board. The lieutenant governor's on board.
Good.
One of the 2 United States senators are on board. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Harrell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here today to ask for House Bill 124. It's listed on your sheet under Modified Open, unanimously passed out of Regulated Industries. Deals with Sunday sale referendums and provides that should a community vote down liquor, beer, and wine, a previous referendum for beer and wine only would remain valid and not be nullified. Section 2 provides definitions for a packaged liquor store in statute, and I would ask your favorable consideration.
Any questions? Thank you. Mr. Epps.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Come before you this morning to ask for 2 bills, House Bill 101 and House Bill 202. Basically, House Bill 101 is just allow food service establishments to, operating at any event, not just fairs or festivals, to be exempt as long as it meets the sponsorship requirement and the 120-hour limit. Basically, short-term events put on by nonprofits won't have to go through the expensive permitting process. Any local government entity can issue a permit or can delegate authority for permitting to its county board of health.
Any questions? No questions. Next one.
HB 202 is our annual GDOT housekeeping bill. As we prioritize our transportation investments and identify common sense savings, this is an important housekeeping bill. First of all, this bill mirrors recent changes in federal law by raising the minimum requirement for value engineering or VE studies from 10 million to 50 million, as well as exempting project types where GDOT does not perform the design work. This change doesn't mean that VE studies will not be done in this range, but that GDOT will now have flexibility to use past experience to target project types that yield savings and produce recommendations that can be implemented, as well as on-time project delivery by avoiding these unnecessary studies. Section 2 of the bill also provides some very select exemptions from congressional balancing. This bill would exempt all interstate projects from congressional balancing. It would also exempt freight corridors that would be proposed by the planning director, but has to be approved by state education board. Interstate and freight corridors are used not only by Georgians, but by people from throughout this country to travel through our state. So this exemption acknowledges both of these are important statewide priorities, and that the completion of other projects in a congressional district should not be penalized for statewide priorities. Every congressional district will benefit from this exemption. And then finally, Section 3 was added within committee and modifies the restrictions placed upon the annual emergency permits for tow trucks, which were statutorily created last year. These changes raises the per axle weight from 21,000 to 25,000 pounds, and with respect to tandem axle, it allows one tandem to be at 50,000 pounds, but no secondary tandem can exceed 38,000. GDOT has and will continue to maintain, to monitor these changes to determine impact on our road and bridges. We ask for your favorable consideration, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Welch.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I have for you HB 135. This is an amendment to the annual item notice requirements. It would mandate the damages are presented in a plaintiff's lawyer's claim, so as the taxpayers for the city will not be left guessing as to what will be required to settle a case before it goes on to litigation. It also provides designated personnel to receive the notice. If you have any questions.
Questions? Thank you. Mr. Peak. Wait a second.
Yes, sir. At the appropriate time, I'd like to request.
You can go. Of him?
No, sir.
This is your appropriate time for you to ask for your bill.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm here to request SB 25, 26, 30, and 31. Senator Cecil State and my colleague from Bibb County presented these bills to you last week. These are for our new consolidated government that was voted on overwhelmingly this past summer. This is to go from partisan to nonpartisan certain positions in the new government. And these positions will be the mayor, the commissioner, the coroner, magistrate judge, municipal judge, probate judge, the water authority, and the Board of Education. Just a couple of points. This bill is a general bill because Rule House 50 requires that any changes from partisan to nonpartisan be a general bill. It is only for Macon and Bibb County and the new government. It does not affect any other municipality or county in the state. It does not affect the sheriff, the DA, the tax commissioner, or the clerk. It has been requested overwhelmingly by the citizens of our community, including the editorial board, and would ask for your favorable consideration, Mr. Chair. And for any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
Anybody? Okay. Anybody else want to ask for a bill of this committee? Not y'all. Y'all can't do that. All right. This is for tomorrow's calendar. Under open, HR 4. Any opposed? Under modified open, HB 101. Any opposed? Listen up to this one. Under structured, SB 25. Any opposed? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Those opposed? Motion carries. SB 26. Those opposed? All those in favor signify by raising your hand. Those opposed? Motion carries. That's structured. These all four will be structured. Under structured, SB 30. All those opposed? Those four, raise your hand. Against? Under structured, SB 31. All those in favor signify by aye. Dadgum, I thought I was going to trick you. Those opposed, same. All right, all those in favor, raise your hand. Opposed? That's the calendar.